Computer. All right, it says recording. What is up? This is the War Dog. Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Theater with my guest host, JR. What's going on, JR?
What's up, War Dog?
Not much, bro, not much. Today we got some awesome guests. We got actually three guests. We got Nick from Key Collectors Comics. What's going on, Nick?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We got Guys Moses, the great artist, on the Collector's Corner, my main man. What's going on, brother?
Greetings and salutations.
Hi there, guys. And we got Shingo Juban, Bishop Combs himself. He's kind of blacked out right now. What's going on, Bishop Combs?
Ain't this a bitch? I was the last one introduced.
Yeah. Always an issue with you. Always an issue. So, John, what are we going to be talking about today, brother?
Oh, man, we got a packed show today, man. We're going to start out with Major X and Rob Liefeld. And so this is going to be a good one, man. We're going to finish the show up with some Wrestlemania talk, hopefully, if we've got time. But I'll tell you right now, I'm feeling a little spunky with this this Rob Liefeld situation that's going on. So we all know that we're basically everybody is all over social media. If you're following Rob Liefeld on social media, you know that he's basically creating his own little firestorm, basically, of what's going on with Major X, and that, you know, honestly, there are a couple of people who have brought up to him that Major X's first appearance may not be what Rob thinks it is. Now, Rob is being credited as the creator of Major X, and you know, I this is the way I see it. I think Rob's kind of got a little bit of a vested interest in the whole thing, as far as, you know, he wants his name credited as the creator, but he also, you know, he's got some skin in the game, man. He's got his own variant covers and stuff like that he's trying to sell. And so, you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that we've got Nick with Key Collectors on. And, you know, we got Gaz on it from artist point of view, but then we got Bishop, somebody who's into some of those variant covers and stuff like that. Bishop, I'm going to start with you, man. Kind of give me your take on what's going down with Rob Liefeld right now.
Well, shit, I used to be a fan of that cat, man. And then started seeing all the shit that was going on, you know, from the posts in the corner and everything. So then I hopped on Twitter and started looking. And I just seen it, you know, it just seemed like he was butthurt about a lot of shit. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, you know, bad publicity is good publicity. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, like I said, on eBay, his cover A is already going for, what, $15? And then the variant cover is going for 50. So I'm like, shit, he knows what he's doing.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that Rob Liefeld, and look, man, what you want about his art, I'm not going to dog his art. Some people really dig it. Some people, that's who they grew up with. And so there's that nostalgia factor with Rob Liefeld. So I'm not going there. But man alive, this guy, like you say, Bishop, I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's playing this to a T, and some people are getting suckered, frankly. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. And I mean, yeah, Rob does some philanthropic things here and there. Occasionally he's kind of funny on social media. But honestly, man, I'm not going to pull punches here. I'm not a fan. And I haven't been a fan at all since finding out that a lot of the things that he was doing was basically line for line redraws of stuff that other guys had already been doing. So now, and look, I'll tell you right now, guys, if you don't want to weigh in on this part, you feel free to set this out. It's up to you, man. But as an artist, man, how do you feel about Rob Liefeld?
Man, that's a rough one. He's not exactly. I'm trying to be diplomatic because I am trying to be professional as well. But I've met him on 3 separate occasions over the past 12 years, and every single time was not a pleasant experience. He's not, and I'm trying to give people their due. I mean, everybody has a bad day. So, you know, if you meet somebody that's famous and whatnot, and they're a little crabby or they're, you know, not exactly what you had hoped, that's understandable. Everybody has a day where they're not quite right. But 3 different occasions, 3 different states, and over the course of 12 years, and he was exactly the same every single time. I'm personally not a fan of him as a person. His artwork, I will say his artwork has gotten better than what it used to be. When it first came out, I kind of dug it because it was different way back when. But that's before I really knew anything about artwork and what it should look like. Once I learned, you know, what anatomy was and how it's supposed to work, I looked at it with fresh eyes and went, oh, wow, that's not good.
Hey.
That's just my opinion.
No, I can dig that, man. I mean, look, let's be real here. That's one of the sticking points with a lot of people with his art is the fact that, come on, man, whenever you're bragging that you've never done anything with anatomy as far as classes or any of that stuff, and it's almost something that he's bragging about. You know what I mean? And again, stylistically, some people dig it. But on the other hand, you look at proportions and things like that and perspective and some of these things that, I mean, we're not dealing with an impressionist artist here, guys. We're not dealing with somebody who's just throwing shapes and colors and shading on a canvas. Supposedly he's drawing, you know, he's drawing the female figure, or supposedly he's drawing Captain America. And I mean, you know, some of these things, and we all know which ones I'm talking about, man. He's got a few here and there that like you say, he's gotten better. But even he did a Superman cover here recently. Personal opinion, and really, let's be honest too. If you guys have known me for very long at all, and we've talked privately, I jokingly have said that I'm going to start a 90s comic book themed grunge band, and I'm going to call it Leifeld's Feet. Like that's the gag of the band itself. And anyway, the Superman's feet was, yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You know, and so anyway, the Superman that he did, I'm not saying he's tracing stuff, but it looks like whenever you look at Superman's feet, he's supposed to be flying in midair, right? Okay, and it looks like there's being pressure put on the foot, on one foot, and then the other one is dangling, like maybe somebody is walking on a tightrope. So all I'm saying here is, and yes, I'm going to go ahead and say it, it would not shock me at all to find out that he referenced somebody else's art to get the feet as close to right as they are, and he wasn't taking into account that Superman's not actually standing on anything. He's in the freaking clouds. You know what I mean? So now, as far as the market's going and stuff like that, I kind of want to throw it over to Nick and see what your impression is of the variant covers and stuff like that they're doing for this Major X #1. How are things like that shaking out, and what are you seeing as far as key related information on Major X?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you are aware, or I don't know if I'm skipping ahead in saying that I had a situation with him that started yesterday that kind of blew up. Are you aware of this? I thought that's
I'm vaguely aware.
Okay,
Like you say, I know how Rob is on social media and stuff, and so nothing shocks me about how he treats people.
I can answer that question, but it's sort of a linear thing that has been going on for the past 15 hours. Well, actually a little longer, because I looked into this quite a bit. So from the beginning, just to clarify, Rob, where this all started was a Twitter yesterday where Rob said, let me tell you, and I have notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. Let me tell you, Spider-Man Deadpool number 47 is in no way the first appearance of Major X. It came out a week after Deadpool number 10.
Yeah.
Get noticed by mentioning it here, which is on Twitter, his Twitter page, but I will never, ever sign a single copy of Deadpool number 10. Came out a week before, as I anticipated a clown move like this. So basically what happened is Rob introduces Major X, which hit the shelves this week. Major X number 1 sold out, and it's going for, last I checked, it was what, $15, I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 3 weeks before, in Deadpool Spider-Man number 47, there's a cameo appearance of Major X. So the whole thing was, this is Major X's first appearance in Major X number 1. But then out of nowhere, and nobody really knew about it until like 2 days ago, cameo that somebody spotted, reached out to me. I sent out a key issue alert, which is what I do for subscribers, as you guys know. And then, of course, it starts going for $20, $25, $35 on eBay. This thing is up to like $40 on eBay. And it's a cameo. It's about this big of Major X. So there's 2 ways, and Rob called out the artist or Marvel, I don't know who, and said, oh, it's a clown, right? He's a clown. This was a clown move. So this cameo is so, it's really difficult to spot because there's, all these contrasting colors, but it's not an event. So if anybody's actually curious about looking it up and they have the issue, I think it's on the 3rd page. Everybody's jumping into lava, and in the background, there's Major X. So Rob may have caught wind of this, and he was upset because I understand, look, he created this character, created it or cobbled it, Frankensteined it together from a couple others from what it looks like. But he wanted to be the one that introduces it with his name on it. So understandable. I'm sure it goes, you, right? Is that something, I'm sure that makes sense as an artist.
Right. Well, and that's kind of another one of my rubs.
I was asking the actual one of the artist here. I was trying to figure out, where is he gone?
Gaz is hanging out still.
I just heard him calling until I'm addressed.
Oh, sorry, man. I was saying I understand that Rob wants to introduce the character in his own comic, and he doesn't want there to be, somebody else kind of jumping in before him.
I understand that. Like, as an artist, I understand having, you're excited about something that you created. You definitely want to be the one to show it off. I get that. But at the same time, saying it's a clown move.
It's a little insulting.
Not only are you calling out the publisher, you're calling out the artist. That's really not. And he went on this. I'm sorry, I forgot the artist's name. Harkov, something like that.
It's Matt Horak.
Horak. Yeah, and he comes out and he's like, "Hey, they told me I could use whoever I wanted to use. I was just, I wasn't trying to do anything bad." And then he gets mad about that. And I'm like, dude, come on now. It's like I'm kind of with Bishop on it a little bit, as far as I think he's doing it. I think he's in it because it's something that he should not. I can't imagine anybody being that upset. He's blocking people left and right. And I mean,
Yeah.
to be that upset about something, it just seems a little bit ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I was one of the ones that he blocked, which is kind of where I got involved in it. But so what he said to Matt with the whole clown thing, and then Matt jumped in on Rob's Twitter and he said, "I'm not trying to clown. I like the design. I was told I could use whomever I wanted in our story. I didn't realize it would be in stores before Major X1. I just wanted to pay tribute, no offense." So what
Right.
Matt was saying was, and this is also what I've heard, is that this issue, this Spider-Man Deadpool issue came out a week before that it was supposed to come out. So, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's a couple different sources have said that. So for Rob to call out the artist like that when it could have possibly been an actual tribute is like, that's one of the problems that I have with this. And the fact that this guy went on Rob's page and he pretty much apologized, Rob completely ignored him. Where I jumped in was, I said, I saw Rob had posted that tweet, and I just clarified. I said, okay, so first cover appearance, like you said, John, are these issues these store exclusives? So what happened was Major X appears. So Rob must have caught wind of this, and he went to Marvel and he said, I will pay you to commission. This is from Bleeding Cool. I will pay you, Marvel, to commission me. So basically to pay me back, to hire me to create variant covers for Deadpool number 10, which came out on March 6th, I think. So sure, whatever. So Rob creates these Deadpool number 10, and then he puts it up on his, and this was the whole deal. He puts it up on his website, robleifeldcreations.com, and it's a 2-pack. You can only buy it as a 2-pack signed for $100. And that's the other place that I have a problem with this, because if I'm a big Rob Liefeld fan, and Rob says, and his word is the word of God, and he says the first appearance, Major X, is on the cover of Deadpool number 10, which came out 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks before Spider-Man Deadpool number 47. That's the first appearance. So I'm a fan, right? I'm thinking I'm getting this first appearance of Major X for the past 3 months for $4. Now I realize I got to go on to his website and I have to pay $100 now to get these 2 variant covers that just popped up out of nowhere. It's a little opportunistic, in my opinion.
Oh, of course it is. And this is the deal. I'm not going to fault an artist for wanting to capitalize on his art, but on the same token, it feels, like you say, it feels very manipulative of Rob to try and go back. And let's be honest, with the way that variant covers are these days, where they'll have a Monster Month 1 month, or they'll have Mary Jane Month 1 month,
Yeah.
or fill in the blank. A cover appearance to me will never be a first appearance. Now,
no, absolutely not, and especially not from a store.
Right. Well, and really, with that being said, you might end up with a book that's got a smoking hot cover that everybody loves, that ends up being worth more. But I'm one of these guys where, being somebody who is all about the way the free market operates, the truth of the matter is, he can say all he wants to, XYZ is the first appearance. There's a certain standard that's already been established in the market that says what a first appearance is. And even when artists and writers try to go back and retcon stuff, like, perfect example is X-Men, I believe it's X-Men 201, first Nathan Summers or Cable as a baby. They go back and they retcon that in. That does not make that the key of having in the end. it's still New Mutants 87 if you want first appearance Cable. I mean, that's really the bottom line. And the other thing is, I bring up in these type of arguments as well is Wolverine 80, where they're trying to do the test tube of X-23. Yes, it has more value than the rest from that run, the rest of the issues from that run, but it's in no way, shape, or form a first appearance of X-23.
No,
it's
not at
just
all.
not. It's just not.
You could call it maybe first mention, and that's the whole thing. That's a big problem. I can't remember if we talked about it before, but what is one thing? Because what's one thing that you're never going to change is the cameo appearance and the first full appearance of what? What's the most famous example?
Oh, that's going to be Hulk 180 and 181.
180 and 181.
181.
Exactly. So if that is the most famous example that we know will never change, in my opinion, that's where you set the watermark, right? So if it's one final page appearance, although it's not, it's a little difficult because that, to me, first appearance, you got the name, jumps in on a fight, full blown costume, everything. It's such a tough thing. That issue really screws it up. But let me just one more point to your point, John, about signed covers. I think that an artist should absolutely be able to charge for his signature and should make money on it, and no problem there. It's the fact that there was no other chance for somebody to own this first appearance unless they paid $100. He didn't have an option where it was like, well, it's $50 for the 2-pack unsigned. You want it signed? It's $50 more. So they didn't get that chance. And another interesting thing, which Bleeding Cool brought up, which was a huge uppercut in my opinion, was that the people that ordered this issue, which came out, it was published March 6th, they didn't get it until after Deadpool Spider-Man 47 was published because they didn't go out. They didn't even get that first appearance prior to Deadpool Spider-Man number 47. And there was like a 12-day window where they could have been sent out and received before that issue came out. And the reason why I find that interesting and kind of a little sleazy is because Rob was selling them at Emerald City Comic-Con on the 13th, which is a Thursday. So the 13th, which is a Thursday, or the 14th. And then a week later, that Spider-Man Deadpool came out, but people hadn't received it yet. But he had them. He had them at the convention. So it's kind of like, well, dude, I mean, ship this stuff out because what the hell, right? Get it to these people.
Right. I mean, at the very least, it's a poor business practice. At the very least, and I'm, you know how I am, man. As far as like, I'm going to try and give people the benefit of the doubt as best as I can. But I mean, Rob Liefeld, every time I give that cat the benefit of the doubt, it's like he comes back and punches me in the nuts, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, dude. He got his nuts like a speed bag from basically everybody on Facebook, Instagram, because when he blocked me, took a screenshot of it, put it up on Facebook, I put it up on Instagram, and I think and then I put up a couple other things like his rate card, because by the way, he charges people $50 to doodle a balloon of Deadpool. So it's a doodle of a balloon with Deadpool's eyes on it. So it's the quickest, most ridiculously I could do it easily, and I have no art ability whatsoever.
Oh yeah, it's less than drawing a stick figure. It's
exactly without the body. I mean,
yeah.
it really truly is, and he charges $50 for that.
Yo, Nick.
That's like, dude, it's expensive. Todd wants to talk.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I got a question. So, I know. I usually just sit here and listen to you guys and smile.
Yeah.
Major X #1. I mean, first of all, do you think Major X #1 is a good investment? I mean, do you think the character is a good investment? And then, like, I mean, I read the story, and the most intriguing character to me was Dreadpool.
Right, but Dreadpool had already appeared. And it's tough to tell. And I actually tried to get clarification from Rob, but he blocked me. I wasn't sure if this was a Earth 616 Dreadpool, because Dreadpool appeared in Marvel Universe. Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe #1, and then I think there was another version of him. And the funny thing is that it's like Dreadpool. It's like Judge Dredd in, then Major X kind of looks like Judge Dredd, but then he's got this character that looks like Deadpool. That's Dreadpool. It's just like a lot of weird, incestuous characters there. But Liefeld even said himself, and I think this is public knowledge. I think it's confirmed knowledge that when him and I didn't even know how to say his last name, Fabian, however you say his last name.
Yeah,
I think.
So they named Deadpool Wade Wilson because it was a ripoff of Slade from Deathstroke. It was, they pretty much said, Deathstroke, it's Slade Wilson. It's, hey, this is Wade Wilson. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's funny because it seems like they own it in that respect, but then there's all these other shenanigans that's like, what the hell is going on? With all these people, he blocked Bleeding Cool prior. So when he blocked me, Bleeding Cool reached out to me. They're like, welcome to the club. A bunch of other people. I got not calls, but I got messages and texts throughout the day today. Like, hey man, I got blocked too, like 3 months ago. I got blocked 2 years ago. And it just so much, it was like a reason to express people's feelings about Rob. And I'm telling you, go on my Facebook or go on my Instagram. It's like they beat the shit out of him bad. I mean, really, like pretty mean shit. One guy, well, I don't even know if it's true, but if you ever after this, maybe look into the Kickstarter, Rob's Kickstarter for Brigade. I guess there's a big controversy around that.
I'm gonna have to look into that. For sure, because I can't think of a better candidate for somebody to get totally wrecked on social media than Rob Liefeld. And this is going to, you guys know that this is a departure for me from the way I am on social media. Todd will attest to this in admin chat.
No, I won't.
Discussion. Well, you don't have to, but I'll screenshot it. It's cool. We'll throw it out. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. But the truth of the matter is, I look at it normally that whenever I'm on social media, I'm on the collector's corner. I'm on somebody else's feed. If they love Rob Liefeld, it's not my job to rain on their parade. And so in that way, that's what I mean by a departure for me to actually come out and say, hey, look, man, I don't care for Rob Liefeld. I don't think he's a good dude. The way that I'm looking at his Twitter right now as far as just his profile. And, man, Rob Liefeld loves him some Rob Liefeld, man. Like in your bio, the last part of it says,
I know, the world.
Earth.
Yeah. Oh, God. It just gives you the douche chills, man.
Yeah, man, because it would be different, man. It'd be different if Gaz or if Bishop had that in their profile. We'd all get a kick out of that kind of thing. But when your reputation already is you're the most colossal douchebag on the face of the planet, and that you're so full of yourself that you're difficult to work with. And I mean, this is
like the Trump of the comic book world. And he kind of has the same hair too,
This is a guy who was running with guys like, and Jim Lee is by all accounts a really good dude, but I don't know. He didn't say a whole lot about Rob Liefeld. And what I notice about good, quiet dudes, is if they don't really actually care for a person, when you ask them about them, they don't say a whole lot. That is the coping mechanism of, man, I just don't want to go near that. And I mean, we're talking about a guy who was running with Todd McFarlane, who again historically has had the reputation of a dude that's kind of plays hardball and can be hard to get along with. And that's a guy I'm a fan of. Okay, but I'm willing to admit that I've heard, kind of like Gaz was saying, meeting Rob live and in person, and I have heard stories from multiple people that if you're at a signing event with Todd McFarlane, at the very least, he's chilly towards people in some cases, and very business of sling me the next book so I can sign it so I can get you out of here. Kind of is the way a couple of people have said it. And the same way that guys said about Rob, man, people are entitled to bad day. But I mean, of the two of those guys, Rob obviously takes credit for creating cable. But man, I'm here to tell you that I actually believe that
I thought you were going to say you created cable.
No, I think that McFarlane had much more to do with that than he ever seeks or is given credit for, because his name's on that cover the same way that Leifeld's is, but people don't really say anything about that because McFarlane didn't have to say anything about that. His work speaks for itself. Rob's got to claim Deadpool and Cable and X-Force and all these things, because if he doesn't, eventually nobody's going to care. And I think that scares the bejesus out of him.
Well, I mean, I've seen Rob at conventions, and I've seen him interacting with people, and he seems, from what I've seen, he seems like a personable guy at these conventions, and engaging with people. I think it's beyond that. I think it's outside of it. I mean, there's a lot of people that are villains in their industry that are, and I think that for some reason, maybe it's Rob's personality, that he has become that, because a lot of people, I mean, I did not see anybody coming in or hear from anybody that said, hey man, you got to chill out with that. I mean, I heard from industry, that was pretty funny. I'm not talking about like publishers or artists. I'm talking about like, retail. But the bottom line is there is, Todd McFarlane still has an office and image. Jim Lee is the COO or whatever he is at DC. Eric Larson and Todd McFarlane still team up and do books together, but there seems to be a separation. And I think there's a reason for it, and I don't know the guy personally, Rob. I don't know him, but just the sheer response from people on social media, and I'm telling you, go take a look. It is unreal. Like nothing that I could not believe that it was that unanimous. I mean, it was really pretty if I were him, I'd be like, dude, this is a wake-up call. Like I need to be a little different here on out,
He doesn't strike me as that kind of cat. I'm gonna ask everybody else here too, real quick. Have any of you guys ever been blocked by anyone other than like a former girlfriend, an ex-wife, something like that? Anybody ever been blocked on Twitter or Facebook by somebody who is either they fancy themselves as famous or they actually are famous? Bishop, I'm going to ask you first. You ever been blocked by anybody that way?
Nah, everybody loves me.
It's true.
I've heard that somewhere before. It was probably Todd telling me that everybody loves me.
Yeah, because he's always throwing salt.
Yeah, that's no joke.
I'm a nice guy. What can I say?
Okay, Mr. Nice Guy. You ever been blocked by anybody on Twitter or Facebook or on social media?
No, I don't think so. Everybody likes me.
You're a likable guy, Todd.
I try. Yeah, I try to be a good guy.
Got a real friendly face.
And you know, like even like Rob Liefeld, I don't even hate Rob Liefeld. Like
Oh, here we go.
I read Major.
You're a nice guy. All right, go ahead.
I read Major X, and it wasn't really I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 after I read it. The beginning part of the book was a little tough to get through, but the end was pretty.
It's a 23-page book. How? I mean, that wasn't a novel, right?
Well,
extra was a double size.
When you get to be my age, man, I can only make it through about 6 pages until I start falling asleep and shit.
Well, then that says a lot about the book. Oh, by the way, Todd, I'm sorry, but to answer your question, do I think it's a good investment? I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of them printed. I'd imagine there were a lot of them printed, and this whole thing will die down. And it's not an original character. It's Cable's son, right? And unless they do something spectacular with it, I think it's like a touch of nostalgia. That's why I think people really do, even if they don't like him as a person, I think that there's something about that connection to Youngblood and New Mutants and all that stuff that a lot of us guys grew up on, that were like, cool, you know what, this is kind of in the same world, in the same realm. And that might be why. And some of us like the fact that, it's somebody, he has that sort of unlikable personality, because you kind of remember those stories when you were reading about these dudes, these dynamic image guys that like busted out of the big two and created their own thing, and you expected them to be sort of loose cannons, but they're older now.
Right.
This shit's gonna be the new Darkhawk.
Yeah.
Hey man, there's still, I still think there's a little room to spec on Darkhawk, but I'm not dropping $10 or $15 a book or $100 for a 2-pack signed by the creator kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'm talking like dollar bin speculating, like, which that's the bottom of the barrel speculation wise. Guys, I didn't hear. You ever been blocked by anybody on social media? Because with your sunny disposition, I believe that likely is hard for people to do.
Yeah, I want to hear this answer.
Me too.
But by a famous person?
Yeah, by a famous person.
No.
Do you just not interact with famous people?
No, I do. I try to keep, when it comes to professionalism, as far as that goes, when people are in a public light, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt to the best of my ability. Like, it kind of goes back to full circle to what I was saying about, everybody has a bad day. If anybody's a celebrity or famous and maybe I said something that, I try to look at it as, maybe if I offended them, I should really look at what I said, sort of situation, for the most part. But, once you've given somebody so many chances, you can only give somebody so many chances before you're just like, yeah, I'm done. But as far as being blocked by a famous person or anything like that, I have always had, really, really good interactions with famous people. I don't go out of my way to troll famous people or anything like that. Or now, this guy that we're talking about now, I mean, you're talking about a guy, and what Nick was saying about all his accolades and everything, he busted out with the original 7, the Formed Image. Yeah, but there was also a time shortly after that, they all kicked him out.
Yeah.
They all kicked him out of Image. He was not allowed. And I think, I could be wrong, my memory could be bad, but I think that really came to a head with Mark Silvestri, because Mark Silvestri was like, I'm out. I can't deal with this guy. I'm forming Top Cow. And that went on for a little while. And they're like, okay, we got rid of Rob. Come back. And he was like, okay, I'm back. So that should tell you, when you have a group of 7 people and one of them was like, I can't be around this guy anymore, that he leaves, and that guy that left is more important to your group dynamic than the guy who's causing the problem. And they give him the shaft. No pun intended for a Rob Liefeld character. But I mean, that should tell you volumes right there. When his buddies are the ones saying, "You got to go, man." That should tell you all about the character of that person.
Well, and in fairness, as much as we can be, and like I say, man, I'm not a fan. I kind of actually give him a bit of a pass on the early Image stuff. He was still a young dude, and a lot of us, when we're in our early 20s, especially a guy like that has somewhere along the way, somebody told that cat that he is God's gift to art and comic books. And, you know, like you say, sales-wise, he's got a point that his art back in the day moved units. It did. There's no denying it at all. Right behind Jim Lee and X-Men. That's the truth of the matter there. But having said that, you know, you kind of get to a point where, okay, man, you're out of your 20s now. You're in your mid 40s now. A lot of us, just being open and honest with you guys and with our listeners here, I wouldn't have recognized me when I was in college. No way, no how. I guarantee it. I'm laid back now. In college, I was not that dude. That was not me. And we're not gonna get into those stories. But the truth, no, man, that's for a future podcast. You want to hear those, you got to keep listening. But the truth of the matter is, you know, like God says, it's time to grow up, man. Kind of, you know, like Nick was saying, kind of reassess where you're at in life and what you're doing with life. And just because you moved units in the 90s, man, you know, there's no guarantee you're going to continue to move units into 2020, into 2019. That's not a guarantee. And if you're not showing, that's the other thing with Todd McFarlane, in my opinion. Todd McFarlane went from the brash, young rock star artist, and now that Stan is gone, I actually think that Todd McFarlane may be that next great ambassador for comic books as a whole, not just for Image, not just for Spawn, but for comic books as a whole. He's got the pedigree.
He'll be the next Stan Lee. That's interesting.
I'm gonna vote for Donny Cates.
Well, Donnie's got a ways to go to catch up to Todd McFarlane, though. But the other thing is too, you guys know I follow him on social media. They went and started doing this top fan and commenter, blah blah blah, whatever, and so a bunch of us from the corner have earned those achievements, let's call them. And the truth of the matter is Todd McFarlane kind of has that carnival barker mentality that can bring people in that Stan had. You know what I mean? He's a promoter. Don't kid yourself. You don't get to be a promoter. You don't get to be where he's at without being a promoter, because we're working on a second Spawn movie that he's going to have more control over than he did have the HBO series for Spawn. I mean, McFarlane Toys, which is leveraged into you name a pop culture property, and McFarlane Toys is making a figure of it. They just are.
So I just got an email here from somebody that says, Spider-Man and Deadpool 47 was not the first appearance of Major X. I was led to believe this was true, but Rob Liefeld explained through a tweet that Deadpool number 10 variant was sold a week before please correct within the app. This is some of the shit that I deal with, right? And the bottom line is, I put first cameo appearance of the character, and first cover appearance for the cover appearance, which from what I saw after I had clarified that was acceptable to Rob. So I don't know why this super fan is reaching me. But hey, guys, I got to cut now because I am behind and I got to get on some of this stuff. So appreciate you having me.
No problem, man. Nick, thank you so much for joining us, man. Appreciate you letting us in on that and breaking that news right here live on the show, man. That you got to change something on the app because somebody said.
Yeah, right.
I love your app, bro. I love it. I use
Thank you, dude.
on a daily basis, several times. I was doing it before I got on here, because I do have one quick question about your app.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Like you said, what we was talking about, now they're going on eBay for $15 right now. But on your app, I go by your numbers. It says $5, which is
I'm very careful about what I do with pricing, especially when something comes out, because I don't want to see that happening on eBay. There's so much manipulation on eBay that's happening that it really makes it. I have taken it on as a personal, just like a watchdog on some of this stuff to make sure that these prices are not being manufactured by some people who are selling it. And with all of the pricing, I always scale it back about 10%. So if somebody's like, this sells for $20, but on your app it says 18. Well, guess what? If you're a collector and you find that $18 and then you see that it's selling for 20, you feel like you have a good deal and you feel better about the hobby. So nobody should ever it's not. So the point is, it's not supposed to give you an accurate.
No. I was just curious about it because I give myself a plus or minus of 15% on both.
Yeah.
So
So the $5 one, it's just. I mean, wait. Usually I wait a day or two or three just to see if something really starts. If people are bidding on it. Because if they're buy it nows, I don't always trust those because those are the easiest to manipulate. A lot of times I wait for the bids to come in. If something's got 20 bids, then I go, all right, well, that's a little bit more difficult because then you got to get, 2 or 3 people involved and it's just the whole thing. It takes longer. So I try to go by bids and I just haven't, really assessed it as much yet.
Okay, well, that's cool. Well, see, I ain't got to worry about it because Todd bought 2, so I'm taking one of his.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it right there.
That's the way to do it. Take it by force.
Have Todd fund your hobby. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
Poor Todd.
I know. I was glutton for punishment.
Yeah, that Punisher hat means nothing, if you're
No.
It's like an invite.
Exactly. It's like, come and punish me.
Punish me.
He's only wearing anything to cover up his yarmulke, that cheap bastard.
All right, fellas.
All right, Nick. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Have a great night, guys.
Thanks, Nick.
Good to meet you. Thanks for saying that, Shingo. I appreciate it.
For sure.
I got to figure out how to get the hell out of here. Mouse. Enjoy the wrestling talk. See you guys.
All right, take care, bro.
For sure, man.
Easy.
Right on. So
I like that. I enjoyed that. I mean, because honestly though, I think Leifeld, whatever the hell you want to call him, I think he's actually kind of smart because I think he knows the product he has right now isn't solidified and really worth his shit. So he's faking it till he makes it. So he creates a little drama to go along with it. Because I didn't want the book. I told Todd showed me the picture, and I said, that shit looks cheesy as hell. But now all this drama's going on, and it's like me wanting to watch a Jerry Springer show. Oh shit, what's going on? I want to see what's happening. So now I want to get the book, and then follow it maybe for a few issues, and then get pissed off when I find out it's another Dark Hawk. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then,
Well, and
then
that's,
I can send them to Nate. Then I can send them to Nate Peters, and Nate would love them.
that's exactly right, man.
We live in a world where people, with social media, everybody comes on the internet and says, something can be like Netflix. I'm not going to say the movie, but a lot of people are like, oh my God, this movie is so bad. Have you seen it? It's so terrible. You have to see it. And a movie that is not very good, all of a sudden people are like, it's got, millions of people watch this movie because everybody was like, it's so bad. You have to see how terrible it is. And then you watch it and you're like, wow, that was disappointing. Why did I watch that? Because the internet said it's so bad I should.
Bird Box.
That's not what well, okay.
Somebody got jacked. That's true, man. I skipped that one. I ain't gonna lie, I skipped that one. I skipped a couple of them that even my teenage sons got duped into, that they were like, Dad, I watched it. It was horrible. And I'm like, you gotta learn, kid. You gotta learn. You're a teenager. You'll figure this stuff out. And actually, I'm kind of with Nick as far as the long-term prognosis on Major X. But I will say this: I was kind of off base on Cosmic Ghost Rider initially too, because I'm not a huge fan of amalgam characters. You know what I mean? Where they meld 2 or 3 characters together and they claim that it's something original. I'm kind of a little bit that way on the Red Goblin, but on the flip side, I'm hopeful with that because it involves Amazing Spider-Man and stuff.
Hulk Marines, what's
Weapon H.
Weapon H.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, I picked one of those up, but I got it real reasonable too. So it's not, my whole key with anything that I'm speculating on is, what did it cost me to get it? What is my initial investment? So if I've got a reasonable initial investment, I'm not that worried about it as far as if it hits big, man, I hit big. If it doesn't hit at all, I'm out $5 or $10 at most. I mean that's where it lands at, and that's kind of my rule of speculating: is diversify out and buy it as cheap as humanly possible.
The one thing I can say, I've been collecting, like actively collecting, since I was 7 years old. So I've been doing it for almost 40 years. And the one thing that I can say as far as speculation goes is, you are never going to be able to, you might have short-term success, but as far as knowing what something is that might actually become something, you will never know. Because, I had so many first appearances of characters that were dead in the water that nobody gave a rat's ass about. And I sold them off because I needed money, how that goes. And now Rocket Raccoon is my go-to. I'm the first person Rocket Raccoon. Nobody's ever going to make a movie about a outer space raccoon that talks. I might as well. 20 years later, I'm yelling at my kids, why is your Rocket Raccoon toy laying in the hallway? You have no way of knowing. That's just my.
No, you're 100% right, man. One of the picks that I went on, say, I think it's been 9 months ago, roughly in that range. I got business cards printed up. You guys know I travel, and I leave them on bulletin boards and stuff like that. And this cat calls me out of the blue and says, "Hey, I got some comics. You want to come take a look?" Sure, no problem. I go in there, and like what you're saying about Rocket Raccoon, I go through there, and this dude, his collection is all over the place. And he assures me that he also has a long box of comics in a safety deposit box. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever, dude. So anyway, I get to thumbing through there. This dude had, I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 or 8 First Rocket Raccoons. So I'm thumbing through there and I'm pulling them out. He's like, is that something special? Is that Rocket Raccoon's first appearance? And I'm like, yeah, actually it is. And he's like, oh man, well, I'll sell you 1 or 2 of them, but I want to keep the rest of them because I collect first appearances. And I'm like, man, it was that close. But on the flip side, like you said, initially this guy was going to sell them to me at $1 a piece because it's Rocket Raccoon. Who cares? There's no way that's going to be a big deal. But like you say, you can just never tell until it hits. The other perfect example is Umbrella Academy. Umbrella Academy obviously had My Chemical Romance tie-in with Gerard Way and stuff like that. I got super lucky that my daughter and a friend of hers were really into Gerard Way and stuff like that. And so lo and behold, I end up with a #1 and a free comic book day. And I gifted them to my daughter because, I mean, dude, I got comic books. I'm good. I don't have to score on every single thing that I pick up. And if it fits her interests, I'm cool. I'm down with that. But, you know, thought that comic book would actually be worth some. And, you know, we kind of missed our opportunity to talk about that with Nick. On the flip side, man, you not only can you not tell what's going to hit, you literally can't throw away free comic book day books anymore because next thing you know, they're $10, $20, $30 books you didn't know was going to be a thing.
John, I just want to say one thing. I actually posted that Cosmic Ghost Rider would be a hit. Thanos 13, I said was going to be a hit. And a bunch of people jumped onto my post and they were talking smack. And Bishop came on and he kind of like slapped him around a little bit. And I just sat back and laughed. And the only thing that I could think was, I hope these people didn't buy that book, because when it goes up in depth.
No, the dude that was doing the most talking, his name's like a Nick something. He posts that Ghost Rider statue, that motorcycle statue all the time. He now, because I'm in a couple of groups with him, he says he's got like 20 copies of this thing, and he's got them signed and all this other shit, and he's got some slabbed with as and everything. And I did make a said, damn, you said my boys and respond back. Did we all freeze up? I was wondering.
I'm still here.
God was like just staring at my belly button. I was like, what is he doing?
I was wondering why you had the camera on your belly button.
But well, on that speculation shit, man, what are y'all thinking about that new one? Todd, the one you gave me, what is that? Blood Red or
Dark Red?
It's a janitor at a truck stop. It's a vampire book.
I like it. I thought it was a good start
Red.
to the story.
Dark Red, yeah.
Yeah, I thought Dark Red was a good start to the story, and it's a good vampire story, and it's got some violence in it. So it was actually a little bit exciting.
Part of the speculation group too, and they've got a long ass thing talking about how this could possibly be another, like they've been saying about Redneck could be another Walking Dead. And they're talking about like this one could be another Walking Dead. But I think this story, I read the comic. I think to me, this one's better than Redneck.
That's some pretty strong company there. I'll tell you right now, really, to me, another way that I like to speculate I like to go back after the books have cooled off and pick the books up after the fact, because you've got your initial people that fear of missing out, people that they got to be one of the first people to climb on board as the book starts going up. Then you have the folks after that in that secondary market that are flipping and stuff like that. I go back and look for books that were smoking hot 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. Curse Words is a perfect example. Curse Words was like a big, huge, hairy deal right around the same time that God Country was a big deal. Man, you can go back and pick those books up at $1 a piece if you want to right now, man, and not have any real issues with it. But people were really speculating hard and heavy on those up front. Again, to me, that's where I think some people miss the boat with their speculating. I think I know I turned Shazam onto this YouTube channel, and I'm going to give him a plug again. Comic Tom 101 is a guy who does the CBSI Hot 10 list. He did a video here a while back on the not Hot 10, and he was talking about books that had cooled off significantly that were huge spec books. In some cases, as little as 90 days ago, they were hot spec books, and they're already starting off. And to me, I would rather see that video done regularly so that I know which books are cooling off. Because the way I look at it that I'm getting them on sale, man. The people who had to have it, be the first on their block to have one, they got 6 of them. They flipped 3 of them. They were going to keep 2, but they got that one that they just can't get rid of. Okay, I guess I'll get rid of it for a couple bucks and take a little bit of a loss on it because I turned a profit on everything else. Those can buy from because, like you say, I think that that's where a lot of, and saying never really know what's going to hit or what really is going to be the next Walking Dead #1. None of us really know. But if you're going to guess, if you're going to speculate, getting it as close to cover price or even under cover price as you can, you gotta look at that option.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I tried to do this evening with that, fucking new Leifeld book. Called my dude that I normally jig with, and I said, yo, you got #1? He's like, yeah. And then I said, wait a minute, is it cover price or is it inflated? He said, well, it's going for this on eBay, so I wouldn't call it inflation. I said, well, what the fuck do you call it? It's went up in price, so it's inflated to me. I said, let me shop around. I said, I ain't gonna get it from you. But I'm a long-time customer with him, so it kind of pissed me off a little bit. He should have been like, yeah, Bishop, these are going for 15, but, you've been consistent with me. I'm going to give it to you at cover price because he's got shitload of them. But
oh, absolutely. And a lot of times
guys don't sell none of his books, do you guys?
Not anymore.
You don't sell none of your books.
No, not anymore. Like I said, I had so many first appearances of characters that are hot right now that, at the time I had to. I needed rent money, I needed gas money to go to work. That's why I sold I didn't even sell a majority of, but I sold probably about half of my collection. And now I wish I had those books because they've spiked in value. And but now I don't get rid of them because of that, and because I have kids who, once I'm gone, I'm passing them on to my kids. Even if my kids have absolutely no interest in them, they can possibly try to sell them off and try to educate them on how to do that the right way so that they can get some money. It's something that I can leave them that they can possibly further their lives with. So yeah, I will trade a book here and there, especially if I really don't care about it or anything like that. And at the end of the day, it's all just pieces of paper. I mean, when you break it all down, it's just
Yeah.
people paper and nothing. Really, that's just how I look at it. I mean, I still love them. I still enjoy them. They mean something to me. But at the end of the day, it's just paper.
Right. Well,
Yeah, you're right about that.
and that is a good way to keep your perspective the right way. And that's another reason why, honestly, like with me, and you guys know that I run the corner market there, that subgroup for the collector's corner. Man, I was selling hot and heavy there for a while. I've kind of cooled off a little bit, but I look for books for people. I've got to the point where, I got friends like you guys, and I know like Gaz is looking for Captain America stuff. Maybe I can trade Gaz a couple of books and get some art done or something like that. Or, maybe, like Bishop is looking for something in that Immortal Hulk run. Maybe he missed one or something like that. I can hit him up and be like, whatever. And so I'm kind of spoiled that way, but a lot of what I do with flipping books and stuff like that is basically to keep my costs down so that I can, either I'm keeping my costs down or I'm trading books that I've acquired so that I can afford books that either couldn't afford before, or books that are in better condition, like grading books and stuff like that. You try and upgrade occasionally,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Well, if you come across a disc of the Terminator #6, I need it.
What's that now?
I said, if you come across a Deathstroke, the Terminator #6, I need it. I can't find that book anywhere.
Dude, you would think that'd be an easy one to find too, wouldn't you? That's from that 90s era.
Yep. I have every issue up to like 26 except for that issue. That's driving me nuts.
Yeah, I'll tell you what drives me nuts is there's an individual in this chat right now. He's got a book and he paid $500 for it, and I told him I'll give him $750 cash right now, and he kept going, no. Who doesn't take a $250 profit?
I just want to keep that book. Oh, you're talking about Wardo.
Yeah, it's me.
You're sure not talking about me.
It's Amazing Spider-Man 129. It's graded 6.5. Bishop bid on a Amazing Spider-Man 129, and it ended up selling for like $1,100. And so he's lowballing me at like $750. And I was here with him when it sold for $1,100. So when he offers me $1,100, I'll hand it off to him.
Yeah, but that book was a better grade than the 6 point.
It wasn't graded, dude. It was.
Yeah, you could look at it and tell it was an 8 or a 9.
Wait, Todd, who's it graded by?
PGX.
Oh, dude, you gotta discount that, too. Man. You gotta discount that. That's below raw grade, man.
Actually, I didn't get it pressed.
Stored.
I didn't get it pressed and cleaned, so I think it could possibly be a 7.
Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't get back the Lionsgate reprint that they dropped with the movie?
I'm pretty sure.
Dude, okay, hey, look, I'm already on a rant for Rob Liefeld. I might as well burn all the bridges tonight, man. If you're getting stuff graded by PGX, why? Look, we'll put my PayPal account in the description of the video and the podcast. Y'all just send me money and I'll burn your comics for you. Okay? I mean, if you're gonna send them to PGX, just put yourself out of your own misery, man. Because, dude, all you got to do is just type in PGX in YouTube, and those cats, man, they have years of history of screwing people over, of overgrading, of not catching restoration. And you're lucky you got a complete book back.
Dude, I'm telling you, it is a 6.5. I seen it before I sent it. I got it back. It's a 6.5. And you know what? There's as many bad things said probably about the other grading companies as well. I mean, come on. People complain about CGC all the time, except for Gaz. Gaz has started getting graded books like crazy.
Sure. I have a whopping 10.
That might be more than I have, actually, guys. That
So
might be.
you're
I
lying,
think
Todd.
the majority of mine are CBCS, actually. But I don't give a rat's ass about who the grading company is because to me it doesn't matter. It's just like, oh, I got it in a nice little container that'll keep it nice. I don't even the grade, unless it's like roached to hell and back. I really don't give a shit about the grade.
Well, I tell you what, I know for a fact, a raw book will sell for more money than a graded book on eBay. Because all these motherfuckers think they can look at the picture and go, yeah, I think that's like an 8. That's probably an 8 or a 9. And the book is probably a 4.5, but they think, they gonna work some magic.
Well, but
it's a PDF.
I'd rather have raw.
Oh baby, I like it raw. I would probably crack into if I ever sold that first appearance of Punisher, I'd probably crack it open and I'd probably have it pressed and cleaned, and then I'd probably sell it raw.
And you can have $750 in your pocket tomorrow night.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, I have bought, I've bought a few books that are graded. There's one book that I personally would never not buy graded. And there are a couple of books that are this way, but the one that I did for my personal collection is the Batman 181. I had to get that one graded because you have to be careful with those. They've got that centerfold, that Batman and Robin centerfold poster in them. If you're not careful, you'll buy one thinking you're getting a smoking deal on it, and it doesn't have the centerfold poster in it. Some people don't know that it's supposed to have a centerfold poster. But then the other thing, and this is the thing you really got to watch out for, is people pulled the poster out, couldn't find the poster, found a different poster, and married the two together. And if you're not careful, you come back with a purple label for restoration or having a married book. And dude, that's the kiss of death as far as if you're getting something graded or whatever. You can't, you can't have that happen. And if you're either getting something graded or buying something graded, restoration is the worst.
Do they do that for that ASM issue with the tattoos? Do people swap out with the FF tattoos? Do they get a restoration label as well? Or they can't tell?
I will tell you that with any of them, you got to be so super careful if you're thinking about switching out those tattoos. Because I'm telling you, man, the grading companies have seen enough of these that if they would be stupid to not be looking for that as a part of their grading of, hey, man, are these staples the least bit off? Did the guy who pulled those tattoos out and slide them in there, when he folded the staple back together, did he fold it back the right way? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of that nuanced stuff that you or I may not necessarily see, but a guy who's been sitting there looking at that same book 50 or 100 times, he's going to look at those staples and be like, yeah, that staple's been removed and replaced. Boom, done. You know what I mean? And you really got to be careful with stuff like that.
That's why I send my books as PGX.
Because they're not careful with stuff like that?
they don't see that stuff. No. See, just in my own defense, when I first started getting back into comics, I sent my first few books to PGX. And then I heard all the stories. And from there, I've sent everything to CGC from this point forward. So, I learned my lesson.
Oh, yeah, man. And and I totally get that we're just busting your chops with stuff like that. But I mean, like I say, I've already burnt enough bridges. I figured I might as well burn that PGX bridge too. I don't think I'm in any danger of any kind of any kind of deal with PGX anyway. Those cats already have an official YouTube channel basically already, so that's cool. But whatever.
Yo, so we've been
You
going.
guys want
we've been going pretty long here. You want to do a quick WWE Wrestlemania thing before we wrap this up?
Yeah, man. Okay, so this is a deal with the WrestleMania stuff, and I'll try and be as quick as I possibly can. I'm going to ask you guys: do you prefer to do the picks, have everybody pick, or you just want to give your opinion on what you think some of the matches that are going to possibly steal the show, or some results that may shock some people? Because let's be real here, like Todd said, we've already been going quite a while, but this WrestleMania show is going to be like a 7-hour show, for crying out loud.
Right. I honestly don't know. As far as stealing the show, I mean, it's obvious that the Becky, Ronda, Gladys, Charlotte match is going to be, the main event, and that's going to close it out. And I think it's going to go over with Becky, pinning Charlotte. It's hard to tell these days with Vince, even though Triple H and Steph and what's his name, Kevin Dunn, are still pulling the strings. But Vince has gotten to the point where he's predictable in his unpredictability.
Right.
You see something that you say that he's done a billion times, and you go, "That's the way he's going to make money," and then he just throws you a curveball. So he could have Ronda retain and have Charlotte retain, for that matter. One of them would be the undisputed, I guess, winner, and not try to build up that Becky Lynch underdog heat, which he seems to really like this underdog story lately with the Daniel Bryan, going back to CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and now we've got Kofi Kingston, Kofi Mania, which that was kind of thrown in the last minute. I really, really hope they put the belt on Kofi, even if it's just for a short time. I think he deserves it. The guy's a hell of a worker, and it would be a good way to re-merchandise a bunch of New Day stuff, which,
right,
that's going to help his bottom line. This is where I'm at. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you right now, man. I look more at it, and like I said before, it's going to be a freaking 7-hour show, man, and that's obviously including the pre-show and all of these things. My understanding is something that maybe not everybody is aware of. My understanding is the Samoa Joe Rey Mysterio match got ixnayed because Rey got injured on the go home show for Raw, for crying out loud, which is really, it's just a crying shame, frankly, because that could have been a really, really good match.
Right.
But again, what is it? Even without it, it's going to be something ridiculous, like 16 matches or something, including 2 battle royals, and then I think there's a 4 corners tag match, and I mean it's just like insane. Now, the NXT show that was tonight, that was phenomenal. I highly recommend that if anybody's got the network and didn't see it live, take a look at that one, man, because that is just, they started off with the War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. And by the way, if you don't know who Ricochet is, you gotta YouTube Ricochet, man, because that cat does insane things on a regular basis. I like Aleister Black, but the truth of the matter is I think they're both better as single stars.
Agree 100%.
And I kind of actually want to see them feud on the main roster. I want to see the tag team break apart and those two cats go at it, because they would put on a phenomenal match. Now, the War Raiders, just to give you guys an idea who may not know who those guys are if you don't have the WWE Network, they're a couple of big, burly Viking dudes. And you wouldn't think it, but the larger of the two of them, he's like 320 or whatever. He's the guy that does all the high spots and does a lot of the flips and the aerial assault. The littler of the two, as far as weight and stature goes, he's the actual powerhouse. But when I say littler, he's like 295 or some junk like that. He's a big cat too. Anyway, totally recommend watching that show. The one that I think could actually steal the show. Man, I'm looking down through here just to see. I don't know that I see one that's going to steal the show. Unless if there's a huge swerve on the Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. Everybody,
because Baron Corbin is not. Nobody wants that.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And that's going to get. And Vince hates negativity, and he would get booed out of the building, and it wouldn't be a heat boo. It would be a boo boo. It would not be. Oh, he's got great heat. No, it's not that. We don't want this. Nobody. Baron Corbin doesn't even want this.
No. Oh yeah. No, you can tell he's kind of like halfway in it.
Todd's trying to do a wrestling move on me right now. I don't even know what he's doing.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that too, man. Like what are you guys doing over there?
He's massaging my back.
That's not a massage.
I'm not in the same place.
Yes, you are.
That's amazing. I have no idea what's going on there. That's amazing though. Okay, real quick here. Who's your pick to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Do you have a pick for that? I know it. What's that?
Ken Patera.
Ken Patera. He may actually be entered.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, they would wheel his. Isn't he passed away? I think he passed away. But they would honestly they would wheel his corpse to the ring if they thought they could cash in on it.
If there was money to be made.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you right now. I think Apollo Crews is going to win that one. That's my pick for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Honestly, it doesn't excite me at all. The past winners have gone on to do absolutely nothing. It's not like winning the Rumble used to be. It's not like Money in the Bank. It's just a spectacle, and quite honestly, Andre the Giant's legacy deserves something better than that. To me,
100%.
At least it means something. If I had to pick somebody, I'm just going to pick Braun Strowman just because he's big. I know, and they're doing that weird, stupid thing with the SNL cast guys. And I think they're trying to recreate that Kane, Pete Rose vibe because they can't do that anymore. And it's really falling flat.
Well, and I'm with you. That's actually the reason why I didn't pick Braun Strowman is because he's doing the comedy angle with the guys from SNL. If he wasn't doing that, then it's a no-brainer. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer to pick him. But yeah, I'm with you that unfortunately, and honestly, that's kind of the way I feel about half of this thing in match hard is that they're basically throwaway matches, even though they're a lot of are involving championship matches. They're in blow off for angles that have been building for 4 or 5 months now. The Shane and Miz. It's going to be a good match. Shane's going to do some crazy stuff. That except for who know to expect Shane to do crazy. And the Miz is going to, I think the Miz will end up getting screwed on it, frankly. That's the way I see that one coming out, is that Shane wins. It increases his heel persona to win via nefarious means, of course, even though it's, false count anywhere, no DQ. The Miz then becomes even more sympathetic, but then he gets to go on to something different. I see Shane McMahon winning that one.
I'm sorry. I don't follow wrestling hardly anymore. And that Miz guy, is that the guy from the MTV show Road Rules?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, man. Hey, the truth of the matter is, just like anything, well, I'm dying here, man. I can't look at what you're doing there, Bishop. That's just anyway. So no, what I was gonna say is, half of what goes on with professional wrestling is not just the athletic spectacle of the thing. It's the fact that they work on personas, and they work on creating the illusion that somebody is the way that they are, whether they're a good guy or a bad guy. And Miz is one of my favorites, but I like him as a heel. I like him as a bad guy. I like him as a total just jerk.
He when he is working heel, he has the Ric Flair heat. When Rick was a heel, because when Rick was a heel, you hated him, but you loved him.
Yep.
You loved to hate him. And Miz, I mean, here's a guy who came in from MTV, and you're like, oh, God, here's some guy who just wants to be famous. And then he came out, and he was just really overbearing and really annoying, and I hated his guts. I fell in with the whole, oh, he's just here for a paycheck. And year after year, he consistently got better. And he ended up main eventing WrestleMania, winning the World Heavyweight Championship. And then he kind of floundered there for a while because they didn't have anything to do for him. And them telling him, we don't have anything for you, when he's got the Intercontinental Championship, pissed him off. And he went off on a live show, and he became this. I mean, he had Ric Flair heat, and that was the best Miz I had seen in years. And he works so much better that way than he does as a face.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. Now, and guys, this is the other reason why I personally believe that that WrestleMania specifically, but wrestling in general, appeals to so many nerds, is that there is that creative aspect, and basically these cats are running around being those superhero type personas or supervillain type personas, and you're seeing it on a weekly basis. But like what you were saying there, Gauze, the downside to the WWE right now is they're so jam packed with dudes and with women that can really, really can work. They're all over the place. I mean, it's like Todd giving Bishop a massage. It's really, really man, dang, man.
And just like him giving him a massage, you don't want to watch, but you keep looking.
Yeah, it's like a train wreck. It's like a train wreck. Is what it is.
And the honky tonk man is being nominated to the Hall of Fame. One of the greatest heels of all time. Come on,
dude. Seriously, I don't disagree with that at all. That is a guy that, even when you ask guys, and look, if you like old school wrestling and you want to hear silly stories from old school wrestling, I highly recommend the Jim Cornette podcast. Now understand, that dude is nutty. He is crazy, but he tells some funny stories too. But the truth of the matter is that guy will just kind of tell you how it is with some of your favorite old school wrestlers. Like, was this guy really a tough guy, or was he just put on? You know what I mean? Like for somebody like Harley Race, who's a guy from Missouri that, you know, as a kid, you hear this guy's from Missouri. Even though he's a bad guy, in the back of your mind, you're like, well, I know he's a bad guy, but he's from Missouri. That's my home state. If he wins, it won't be the worst thing in the world. You know, that dude's legitimately a guy that you wouldn't want to be on his bad side. You know what I mean? Or he'll tell a story of, you know, kind of like guys, the group call, you know, wrestling for smart marks. We're all marks for what we're fans of. If you're a smart mark, you're somebody who kind of knows what's going on with the process. And so, you know, he tells stories that are impressive to even people who are in the know on stuff that you had no idea. But anyway, I kind of digress a little bit, but to say, you say that Honky Tonk Man is one of the better bad guys of all time. It's true. And this, you're talking about a guy who has the longest intercontinental reign of all time and did very little actual in-ring work for it. He just was able to go in and, like you were saying, guys, get heat from people by being the most pompous jerk, and people wanted to strangle him.
Yep.
I hated.
That's why they tuned in to see him get strangled, and then when he didn't, they were like, "Oh, maybe next week, maybe next week." You know, I mean, is he still? I think he still is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Yes. Santino Marella doing the Honko meter was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. That was so good, man. And he underrated, but, you know, a comedy act there. And that's something else that we could get into at some point. But, yeah, Honky Tonk Man is going in. Harlem Heat is going in. That's a good thing, I think. That
Heart Foundation.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which diva is going in.
Tori Wilson.
Tori Wilson's going in.
Yeah, she deserves it for sure.
Yep. See, I knew you would like that. I knew you'd know who that was.
Yeah, I know who that is.
I'm so surprised.
Very shocked. The Generation X is going in. I actually look forward to that one. I want to see who gets the most mic time there. And
spoiler alert, it won't be Billy Gunn.
That's a true statement. I'm trying to. Bruce the Barber Beefcake.
Who everybody thought I was pulling an April Fool's joke.
He lives up here, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I got a friend of mine. He's his next door neighbor.
Dude, now your buddy is the neighbor of a Hall of Famer. That's saying something.
Yeah,
man.
No, that dude is pretty cool, man. He's pretty cool. Shit, I used to live down the road from what's the big dude with the big ass? Rikishi. Yeah, he lives down in Pensacola, and Mankind lived just down the road in like Destin or some shit like that. All them damn wrestlers were like from Florida, man.
You know, when you figure you're on the road for 200 days a year at least or more, if I had to pick a place that I had to call home, I'd be down in that area too, honestly. If, you know, go down there to a place that you're not going to have to worry too much about weather or any of that kind of stuff. You just, you know, you go home and enjoy hanging out with the family on that limited time off that you get.
Yeah.
Well, that and WCW was based out of Atlanta for the longest time, so a lot of those guys just stayed there.
Yeah, because Michael Hayes, he works out right over here at the hospital I go to. Him, damn,
Whoa. Michael
Bang.
P.S. Hayes actually works out?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's
Probably
strong.
after, man,
Yo, he's a
after,
strong son bitch too, man.
well,
Yeah.
after all that hard living that he did there for a while with the Freebirds and stuff, there's a good chance he's got to work out just to stay upright, man.
I mean, he
That's
looks
true.
exactly the same. The long, whitish blonde hair. Oh, they drives a little Escalade. Yeah, he's a pretty big boy. And then him, Sting, and Luca had a gym down here in Atlanta for a while.
Yep.
Speaking
That-
of long blonde hair,
which one?
yeah, all this right here.
Oh, right on. I got no.
No, his sister could be one of those wrestling ladies. Todd's sister is so fine.
All right. On that note, we should probably wrap this one up.
I'm telling you, y'all need to see a picture of her. She's fine.
So that was Todd, not Todd's sister, that was giving you the massage. Yeah.
I so wish it was.
This is a family show.
I
Dude,
know.
by the way,
hey, I could be your brother-in-law.
He's talking about your family right now.
I know.
She's so fine, guys.
Oh, okay. Now, see, I don't even know her, and I'm getting uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm gonna make sure you see a picture of her.
That's
Gorgeous.
That's awesome, man.
Well, she takes after her brother. What can I say?
Look at the face. Look at the face above my head. No, she don't look like that.
All right. On that note, I think we should probably wrap this one up. We've been going on for probably about 2 hours right now.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
I have one final thought for myself, and I'll let our guests have the final words here. So much of this show should hit a cutting room floor. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you, Todd. You do what you do, man.
I don't know if there's much I can do with this one, but this was fun. I had a good time. I'm glad these guys joined us.
I have a feeling the end cut is going to end up being 5 minutes. He's had to cut out so much.
I know. I got to cut myself out from behind Bishop, who's fallen asleep.
What are you talking about? Asleep?
All right, I'm stopping the recording right now. Peace out, everybody. Peace out.
Good guys.
All right, take care, everybody.